Ohio. Kherson, the city in the south of Ukraine, the administrative, industrial and cultural center of the Kherson region and Kherson district. Till 2020 was the city of regional subordination. A temporary location of representation of the President of Ukraine in the Autonomous Republic of Crimea. It is located on the right coast of Dnieper, near its confluence with the Dnieper estuary of the Black Sea. The largest sea and river port on Dnieper River. The population of the city for January 1, 2019 makes 289,000 permanent residents, and in borders of the city council, including the settlements subordinated to regional councils of the city minus 330 and 334.5 thousand people respectively. Distance to Kiev by rail minus 648 km. Through Znamenka Nikolaev. The large railway junction. Lines to Nikolaev, Snizheryovka, Zhankovo. The Kherson Sea Trade Port and River Port, the airport, also is railway, river and bus stations. Important economic center of the south of Ukraine. On March 2, 2022, the Russian military declared that the city is under their control. In 2022, for defeat, Massachusetts' heroism and firmness of citizens during repulse of the armed aggression of the Russian Federation against Ukraine is awarded with a rank the Hero Town of Ukraine. Proceeding from earlier cards, it is possible to assume that since the beginning of 17th and 18th centuries the city of Bielahaus was at the place of modern Kherson. Belkovici. In spite of the fact that Belkovici on cards was designated to the middle of the 18th century, most likely, the city before arrival of the Field Marshal Burchard Christoph Munich to the mouth of Dnieper, was already in big decline. In a book by Sebastian D'Auchedo, The Index of the Known World of 1672, in the European Territories list, the cities are designated. Achakov, Bilkovici, Kachabi, Vinohradne, Krapozady, Andreev. In the book by Hermann Moll, The System of Geography, of 1701, in the Achakov Territories list, the cities are designated. Achakov, Bilkovici, Kachabi. In 1737 during the Russian-Turkish War. 1735-1739. On the right coast of Dnieper, strengthening of the Russian army Alexanderschanze has been constructed. After the victory of Russia in the Russian-Turkish War. 1768-1774. There was a need for shipyard on the Black Sea for construction of the full-fledged military fleet. For a definition of the place, the expedition, which was headed by the Vice Admiral A.N. Senyavin, the commander of the Azov flotilla, has been organized. He has suggested to build hulls under cover of strengthening of Alexandrovskoye, and after that, lowering them to the Dnepropetrovsky estuary, near the deep harbor, to equip with tools, masts and a rigging. Senyavin's plan has been approved by the Royal Rescript in December 1775. Since 1775 there was a post station here. In 1776 the settlement Kherson Pikaniny Regiment has been created from the former Zaporizhia Cossacks. On June 18, 1778, the Russian Empress Catherine II Velikaya has given the decree on the basis of fortress and shipyard, and already on October 19, 1778 the fortress, shipyard and the city which has received the name Kherson in honor of Cherson historian have been put. Kherson became a cradle and the first base of the Black Sea Fleet of Russia. The Kherson Admiralty. The favorite of the Empress Catherine II, the famous state and military figure G.A. Potyomkin was the founder of the city and subsequently his governor-general. Construction of fortress in the city has been assigned on I.A. Hannibal's general semester. Also in Kherson, construction of the Black Sea Fleet has begun. Under the leadership of A.N. Senyavin, the first command post and barracks for sailors have been built. Suggested them to the scheme to build on shipyard of a hull, to lower them to the estuary and already there to equip with tools, masts and a rigging. Built the ships in the Kherson Admiralty up to its elimination in 1827. On September 16, 1783, from building berths of the Admiralty shipyard, the first big ship, the 66-gun, first linear ship of the Black Sea Fleet of the Russian Empire, Slava Ekaterina, has been floated. Soldiers and sailors participated in construction of fortress and the city together with workers. According to the plan, fortress has been surrounded with the earth shaft in 2 layers revetted with a stone, and a ditch which if necessary could be filled with water from Dnieper. In fortress the Admiralty, an arsenal, military cathedral, mint, Potyomkin's palace and some other constructions have been built. Since February 1, 1784, the engineer Colonel N. 1. Korsakov 1749-1788 became the chief builder of fortress in the city. In 1787-1791 A.5. Suvarev directed building of strengthenings of the city. Further, the Governor-General has approved continuation of building of strengthenings on I.M. Deribas's project, who has been appointed the commander of the Kherson landing troops. In 1790, the first Black Sea foundry gun plant has been opened here. At the end of the 18th century, Kherson has played an important role in development of internal and external economic relations of Russia. Through the Kherson port, trade with France, Italy, Spain and other countries of Europe was carried up. During the travel on the south of the Empress Catherine II, the Kherson fortress has surprised even foreigners. After the structure of the Nikolov port, where have translated the Admiralty, and foundation in 1794 of Odessa, the value of Kherson as port and shipyard has decreased. In 1803, Kherson became the center of the Kherson province. An important role at the Dama manual has played at Chalirum, which has become an Adino-Vide, the Governor-General of the Novorossiysk region, who has made the decision on tax direction from trade in wine in Novorossiya on development of Kherson in the fate of the city, thereby having kept its value and the role of the regional center. The coat of arms and a flag of the city have been approved. In 1813, the first district school, a state initial institution, in 2 years, a provincial men's gymnasium is founded. In 1834, the School of Trade Navigation. In 1874, Territorial Agricultural School is opened. In 1838, in the city, the first newspaper, Kherson Provincial Sheets, has appeared. Till 1850 years Kherson was the center of preparation of wool and processing of agricultural products. In the 1850 years development of the industry has begun. The first iron mechanical plant has been constructed. Also in 1859 6 candle and grease enterprises, 2 sawmills, 10 bricks works worked in the city, 11 Scherstamoy, 10 Salatopak. After 1861 economic growth has begun. In the second half of the 19th century the theatre, library are constructed, the archaeological and naturalists' museums are created. In 1897 the population of the city made 59076 people, and on the basis of the native language was subdivided into the following groups. Great Russian -27902 people, 47.23%. Jewish -17162 people, 29.05%. Low Russian -11591 people, 19.62%. Polish -1021 people, 1.73%. German -426 people, 0.72%. Tatar -337 people, 0.57%. With distribution of heavy tonnage vessels and steamships, the value of shallow Kherson port. Depth of approaches in which did not exceed 2.6 m. Continued to decrease, and only after deepening of a bottom in line with Dnieper in 1890 years, as a result of which by 1905 depth of approaches has been increased up to 5.5 meters and by 1908 up to 7.3 meters. Kherson has restored value of the seaport, important not only for coasting, but also for distant navigation. During the Revolution of 1905 in Kherson, working strikes and soldiers' disorders. The armed speech of soldiers of the 10th Disciplinary Battalion took place. In 1907 the railway line has connected Kherson to the large cities of the country, and in 1908 the first city power plant has given current. In 1913 goods turnover of the Kherson port has made 14,000 tons. In 1914 in Kherson over 100 enterprises. 2 shipbuilding shipyards, 3 ironworks, 4 large sawmills, 5 tan yards, tobacco factory, 9 printing houses, 2 breweries and smaller enterprises, at which 8.5 thousand workers worked. At the beginning of March 1917 the message about overthrow of autocracy in the Russian Empire has come to Kherson. In the city the interim working committee, which wrote in the appeal that it puts the task to guard political and economic requirements of the proletariat, has been created. During the period from March 1917 to April 1920 the power in the city repeatedly changed, after the power of representatives of provisional government on January 17, 1918 in the city the Soviet power has been established. In March 1918 the city was occupied by Austro-German troops. Further the city was under control of the hetman of the Ukrainian power Pavel Skoropadsky, the Directory of UN, troops of the Entente. Since August 1919 and on February 4, 1920 in it the Soviet power has been established to a 1. Denikin army. With the end of civil war in Russia 1917-1922. In Kherson work on recovery of the industry and economy of the city has begun. From March 1923 to 1930 Kherson was the center of the Kherson district. then the regional city, which is a part of the Nikolaev region of the Ukrainian Sea. The value of Kherson as transport hub has considerably increased after construction of the railway line Kherson-Morefa. Construction of the Dnieper hydroelectric power station and locking on Dnieper has significantly increased value of the Kherson port, especially after creation of continuous water communication from Kherson to upper courses of Dnieper, across which in 1933 there have passed the first steamships. In 1927 in the city the bus movement has opened. During industrialization of the Yasser, 1929-1941, the city has turned into the large industrial center of Black Sea coast. At this time have been constructed shipbuilding plant, in 1931 an elevator on 50,000 tons. In 1932 the cannery, in 1933 the motor plant of a name of the 15th anniversary of Raqqa, in 1935 oil refinery has been put into operation. Also the electroengineering works and confectionery have been built. After the beginning of the Great Patriotic War in the middle of July 1941 near Kherson expansion of troops of the second echelon has begun. At the beginning of August 1941 the Rate has ordered to begin preparation of the rear line of defense on the riverbank Dnieper and further through Kherson to the coast of the Black Sea. Defense of the city continued from August 15 to August 18, 1941. Defended Kherson parts of the 51st Rifle Division and seamen of the Danube Military Flotilla. On August 19, 1941 Nazi aggressors occupied Kherson. Fight against the enemy. The Soviet guerrilla movement continued, in particular, group under the leadership of E. Persky. Terror, repressions and threats. The Nazi authorities tried to break resistance. The new order obliged people to be registered at labor exchange. For absence, imprisonment threatened. During occupation in Kherson, the Soviet anti-fascist underground organizations worked. Center and Komsomol and Youth Organization, Patriot of the Homeland. Hedai Kulik. At the end of 1942, in January-February 1943, members of the Underground Center Group have begun preparation for a Massachusetts armed revolt against invaders. The German counterintelligence managed to find underground workers a trace. Massachusetts arrests have begun. Also during occupation in Kherson, the Nationalist Underground, which was organized by the Organization of the Ukrainian Nationalists, revolutionary, on the basis of the sent activists from the Western Ukraine worked. The Kherson district Yerevan D was headed by Bogdan Bandera, the brother of Stepan Bandera. On March 13, 1944, during Brezhnev-Snizhyovsky operation. On March 6, 1944. Kherson has been freed from fascist aggressors by troops of the Red Army. The 49th Guards Rifle Division under command of the Colonel 5. F. March 11, the 295th Rifle Division under command of the Colonel A.P. Dorofeyev of the 28th Army of the 3rd Ukrainian Front. In 1944-1950 the city has been restored. In 1945-1955 140,000 m of living spaces have been put in operation. In post-war years, Kherson has turned into the large industrial, agricultural and cultural center in the south of the Ukrainian Sur. Branch forming of the industry of the city in general has ended in the 1950th years. As of the beginning of 1957, the basis of the economy of the city made the enterprises of shipbuilding and mechanical engineering, also the brick and tile plant, the enterprises of the light industry, cotton plant, garment factory, a shoe factory, etc. And the food industry. 2 canneries, fish factory, meat processing plant, macaroni factory, confectionery, the plant of grape wines, the flour grinding and oil milling enterprises. Worked in the city. In 1960 has earned the first city trolleybus route. In 1977 the 73rd Bridge Erection Trust has begun construction of Automobile Antonovsky Bridge. In 1985 the bridge has been put in operation. Kherson has been awarded the order by the decree of Presidium of the Supreme Council of the USSR of June 1, 1978 the Labour Red Banner for merits of workers of the city in revolutionary movement, active participation in fight against fascist aggressors in days of the Great Patriotic War, success achieved in economic and cultural construction and in connection with the 200th anniversary. As of the beginning of 1985, the basis of the economy of the city were the enterprises of shipbuilding. Shipbuilding Production Association, the Shipbuilding and Repair Plant. Mechanical Engineering. The Kombainovy Plant of G. 1. Petrovsky, the Plant of Cardan Shafts, Electroengineering Plant. A refinery, the enterprises of the industry for production of construction materials. Powersansalzbahn, Po of construction materials, the plant of structural elements, the plant of Steklotelia. The light industry also worked. Cotton plant, garment factory, a shoe factory, factory of sports products. Food industry. Canning plant, grain plant, milk plant, winemaking plant, plant of beer and soft drinks, meat processing plant, fish factory, plant of bakery products, confectionery, macaroni factory, food and flavoring factory. In the city there were 2 newspapers, the television center, 53 comprehensive schools, 11 specialized secondary educational institutions, 15 technical training colleges, 3 higher educational institutions, an evening branch of the Nikolov Shipbuilding Institute, 67 Massachusetts libraries, 34 club institutions, the cinema and concert hall, 10 movie theaters, 2 state theaters, 2 state museums, the Palace of Pioneers and school students. 3 houses of pioneers, 5 nurseries of sports schools, 2 stations of young technicians, the station of young naturalists, planetarium, club of young seamen and the children's tourist station worked. In 1985 on the project of the architect D. Dudko in the Taurian residential district of Kherson, the latest children's garden day nursery with the swimming pool and a winter garden has been constructed. In 1989 the Frigate Hotel. The architect 5. Nikilenko, the engineer P. Fertman, has been put into operation. The city is divided into 3 administrative regions. Suvarev, the central region of the city, Dnieper, the industrial area, and Ship, the main industrial region. In 2006 the Kherson Airport, having received the status of international, became the International Airport Kherson. Near the city of Ulyoshki there is one of the largest sandy arrays of Europe, Oleshkovsky Sands. From 1992 to 2004 the population of the city intensively decreased, however since 2005 it began to increase with a small speed. Also recently goods turnover of the Kherson sea trade port has considerably increased. Since May 17, 2014 the representation of the President of Ukraine in the Autonomous Republic of Crimea is placed in Kherson. The climate of Kherson is typical for climate of the steppe south of Ukraine and is Sukha-Stepny continental. The winter is soft, snow drops out seldom or is absent at all. The spring comes early as a rule, at the end of February. The summer is hot, droughty and long. The fall usually comes in October and lasts till December. As Kherson is in 50 km from the Black Sea, transitional seasons are long. Kherson is divided into 3 areas. Suvorov, the oldest district of the city including the historic center. Ship. Former Komsomol. The industrial region. Dnieper. In Kherson there are areas. The Suvorov area includes the historic center of Kherson and residential districts. Torian, Northern, Center, Mills. The ship area includes residential districts. Shumensky, shipbuilder, Zabalka, Sukorno, housing settlement, settlement of Kamishny, settlement. Geologists, settlement of Zamovnik. The Dnieper district includes residential districts. Mills, High B, Textile, Glassware, Slobodka. First, Second. Military, East. The population of the city for January 1, 2021 also 296,161% of actual population in the city council, including the settlements subordinated to regional councils of the city minus 330,026 and 334,570 people respectively make 286,958 permanent residents. The population in agglomeration, about 450,000 people. Kherson is the center of city agglomeration which, in addition to actually Kherson, enter Olyoshki, Substep, Antonovka, Youth, Stepanovk, Vysuntse, Komishana, Zelenivka, Nadnopriansky, Oktober, Chernobyevka, Belozyorka. According to data of a population census of Ukraine of 2001, 76.4% of the population of the city were made by Ukrainians, 20.0% Russians, 3.6% representatives of other nationalities. Kherson treats the Russian-speaking region. In the city at the household level Russian, in rural areas the Russian-Ukrainian Surzik is used mainly. In August 2012 Russian has received in the city the status regional. At the same time the mayor of Kherson Vladimir Saldo has reported that representatives of 110 nationalities from which 53.4% consider the native language Ukrainian and 45.3% Russian live in the city. Economy. The most developed industries are food industry, canning, meat, fish, bread baking complexes, dairy, vinodalny, macaroni factories. Mechanical engineering, shipbuilding and ship repair, production of agricultural machinery, electroengineering works, plant of cardon shafts. Light industry, cotton plant, tanning and shoe plant, shoe, sewing factories. Chemical and petroleum industry. In Kherson there is one of 6 oil refineries of Ukraine. Since 2005 it is closed. Function: the plant of Steklotiliet is closed. The plant of concrete goods, it is closed 1998. In the city, sea trade and river ports, year-round navigation. Kherson, the large railway junction. Such large stations as Kherson, Nikolaev, Snizhayevka are a part of the Kherson office of the Odessa Railroad. There is an airport which is carrying out regular air traffic with Istanbul. Tourism is developed. Settlements on the Black Sea coast of Kherson, such as Zelizny, Iron, Port Azure Seaside, enjoy wide popularity at vacationers. Skadovsk and the Arabatsky area are known as the centers of children's rest. In total in the Kherson region there are about 180 resort complexes. After foundation in 1951 of Ash, Kherson became the main shipyard of CCC. The Kherson shipbuilding plant is one of the largest shipbuilding enterprises in Ukraine and in Europe. Its production capacities allow to build tankers, bulk carriers, container carriers, icebreakers, the Arctic suppliers, boring and various multi-purpose vessels. Kherson State Plant Palada. Kherson State Plant of a shipboard equipment and ship fittings Sudmash. Kherson State Dokostroiteldy Plant Palada. Betonwerk. Also in Kherson there are several ship repair enterprises. Zest Kherson Ship Repair Plant of a name of Kubashev. In July 2016 the Economic Court of the Kherson region has declared the plant bankrupt. Hist Kherson Shipbuilding Ship Repair Yard of a name of Komintern. Mechanical Engineering. NLS NPP Kherson Engineering Plant. Zest Kherson Electroengineering Plant. Hist Kherson Electromechanical Plant. Zest Kherson Plant of Cardon Shafts. NLS Aviapro. Hist Accumulililatornisada Plant. Metallurgy. NLS Mechanical Plant. NLS Tieki Khersonsky Lightiny Zavod. Light Industry. Hist Kherson. Food Industry. External Images. Rapravok Sankakandi of the Enterprise of Voikov. Hist Kherson Plant of Bakery Products. Hist Kherson Confectionery of Voikov. Zest Kherson Creamery. NLS Dan and Dnipro. NLS Kafiki Aries Limited. Till 1984 in the city the beer factory functioned. Transport. Basis of an urban transport or share taxis, trolleybuses. The city is connected to other settlements, the railroad, bus routes, the river and marine transport. There is a modern international airport. Scheduled services Istanbul, Kherson and Kiev Kherson are performed. Education, science and culture. Educational institutions. On February 23, 2008 in Kherson in Regional Clinical Hospital open heart operation with use of the cardiopulmonary bypass has been executed. Kherson, important scientific and education center. About 15 higher education institutions work. Kherson State University. Kherson State Agricultural University. Kherson National Technical University. International University of Business and Right. Kherson branch of the European University. Kherson branch of the National University of Internal Affairs of the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Ukraine. Kherson branch of the National University of Shipbuilding of the Admiral Makarov. Kherson State Sea Academy. Kherson branch of the Odessa Sea Training Center. Open International University of Development of the Person Ukraine. Kherson branch of the Kiev State Courses of Foreign Languages. Kherson branch of the International Slovak University. Kherson Economic and Legal Institute. Kherson Seaworthy School of Fishing Industry. Kherson Polytechnical College. Kherson Basic Medical College. Lyceums of the city. Kherson Lyceum of Journalism, Business and Jurisprudence. The Kherson Academic Lyceum of O. 5 Mishakov at the Kherson State University. Kherson Physics and Technology Lyceum. Kherson Regional Lyceum. Also in Kherson Sea, cooperative and polytechnical colleges work. The Hydrometeorological Technical School, Marine Engineering Technical School was a part of the Kherson Sea Institute, the highest commercial, seaworthy school of fishing industry and professional lyceums. Among scientific institutions of the city there is an Institute of Agriculture of the southern region of Yuan. At Institute the Arboretum works. At the Kherson State University about 1934 there is a botanical garden with a total area of 14 hectares. Now it is built partially up. Many trees have died due to the lack of leaving and watering. Cultural institutions are provided by 2 theaters, Regional Musical and Drama and Children's, Philharmonic Hall and also Museum of Local Lore. There takes place the All-Ukrainian Festival of Musical Theatrical Premieres, Melpomene Tavri, in Kherson the All-Ukrainian Independent Art Chimeric Literary Award which has now gained Lines International is founded. Also there takes place the annual All-Ukrainian Festival, Black Sea Games, in Skadovsk. From 1992 to 2006 on Khersonshina in the city of Kakhovka there took place the known festival, Tavrisky Games. Since 2008 the festival takes place in Kakhovka again. Sport. In the city of 5 stadiums. Crystal, Dynamo, Start. 243 sports grounds, 20 tennis courts, 24 football fields, 111 gyms where highly skilled trainers work. Also the yacht club works. The honor of the city is protected by the football club Crystal, futsal club Prodixim, female handball Deprianka, hockey club Dnieper. In 2008 in Kherson the ice arena of favorite arena on 450 viewers conforming to standards of International Ice Hockey Federation with a washer is open. Kherson participate in the Olympic Games since 1952. Ivan Sotnikov was the first participant. In Kherson over 70 sports clubs and 10 rooms of school students where sports workers are registered and athletes train. At the 38 Olympic Games of 2004 in Athens the Kherson athletes have played a significant role in results of the Ukrainian Olympic team. Since 1994 till present in Kherson and the Kherson region the traditional automobile rally, the Chematsky Way, which is annually entering offset of the Championship of Ukraine on rally is carried out. Parks and rest. Park of the Kherson Regional Lyceum. The Kherson Fortress Park. Till 2014 the Parket. Lenin Komsomol. The City Park. Till 2014 the Park of 5.1. Lenin. The Shumensky Park. Till 2014 the Park of Georgy Dimitrov. Park of Glory. Dnieper Park. Shumsky's Park. Park of the Kherson State University. Many poets are connected with Kherson. Denis Davidov, Alexei Kravchuk, Pavlo Taikin, Maxim Rilsky, Ivan Mikitenko, Andriy Golovko, Ivan Karpenko-Kerry, Pavlo Grabovsky, Anatoly Marashik, Oleg Oleksik, Marko Cheremshin. In 1935 Kherson was visited the mat by Zalka. Frog, Semyon Grigorievich. Shimon Frog. 1860, Colony Beavercut, the Kherson Province -1916 Odessa. The Russian Jewish poet and the publicist wrote in Russian, Yiddish and Hebrew. In days of the Great Patriotic War Vadim Sobko, Ivan Nakoda, Edward Asadov, Leonid Vishalovsky wrote about the city. The freed Kherson was visited by Boris Gorbatov. We stand on a tower of the building of trade port, both the city and the river are well visible from here. Here at Kherson, wonderful, warm, our beautiful city, now forever ours. Here at Dnieper, mighty, free, wide, our to the sea, forever ours. Many pages of novels of Leon Tirakovsky, Generalissimo Suvorov, and Admiral Yushakov are devoted to Kherson. On material of Khersonshina, the winner of the Lenin Award Oles Gonsher has created the works, Tavria, Perikop, Trapinka, Coast of Love. It is a lot of penetrating lines in novels, Otracheny anthems, and romantic, in stories, Nicola Mokry, 300 brands, sit down. Right. Thou. Borislav has devoted to Kherson and the Kherson region the famous Russian writer Boris Evseev. Courts of the City of Kherson. Local General Courts of Districts of the City of Kherson. The Appeal Greater than Court of Appeal of the Kherson region -56 professional judges. The Cassation Greater than the Supreme Court of Ukraine -95 judges. The Dnieper District -11 professional judges. The Ship Area -13 professional judges. The Suvorov Area -16 professional judges. Local Specialized Courts. Local Regional Economic Court -18 judges. The Appeal Greater than the Odessa Economic Court of Appeal. In connection with liquidation of the Zaporizhzhia Economic Court of Appeal. -24 judges. Local District Administrative Court -16 judges. The Appeal Greater than the Odessa Appeal Administrative Court -37 judges. In total -130 professional judges. In the city of Kherson are located and work also Regional Court of Appeal. At Regional Court of Appeal the jury is created. At each district city court lists of jurymen are approved by chairmen of local courts. In Kherson it is created and the Territorial Department of Public Judicial Administration of Ukraine works. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.